Our Reds, after a disappointing maybe series against the Giants where we lost 2 out of 3, we came back and we had a great win tonight over the Texas Rangers. These clips are from the Reds Twitter page, so shout out them. Vlad, Zach, and I, and maybe a couple of other people will be doing Reds and baseball content all through the year, so stay tuned for that. But here is the first home run of the game by Matt McLain. Roll the clip.
Matt McLain, rocket ride, driven to deep left center. He's got 3 on the young year.
3 home runs for Matt McLain this year. Let's talk about this a little bit. Matt McLain is back, and it makes me very, very happy because you never know after a season-ending injury, especially someone who hasn't really had stacked together years in the big leagues, how someone's going to come back. But it seems like you said in the Reds preview that he's hitting the ball hard. He already has 3 home runs this year, and he had a good night tonight. Any thoughts on the Matt McLain resurgence?
Yeah, I mean, it's very exciting. It's very promising. I think it's good for him and his interest that he's hitting in front of Elly. So they kind of have to pitch to him. But, yeah, the early returns are pretty solid, I would say. I would probably argue MVP of the offense. But, yeah, definitely promising to start.
The Elly de la Cruz, one of his 2 home runs right here.
Drills it to center.
I'm going to watch this, and then we're going to cut to his second home run.
Pay all the way with ballpark, a hard park to triple in. Destroyed. Deep right center.
So
the base of the
both home runs to kind of the same spot here for Elly. Like you mentioned in the last video about the torpedo bats, that'll be up pretty soon, so go and watch that. Elly was using the torpedo bat tonight, and early returns say good, I think. I think that 4 for 5 with 2 home runs, a double, and a single is not bad. But what have you seen from Elly this year, and how do you like his performance tonight?
Yeah, well, first thing, he said in his post-game interview that he used the torpedo bat like for the first time ever in BP today. Just rocked it. So good sign there. But as for the season overall so far, I'm pretty happy with it. The swing just looks so much more fluid.
I agree.
No more leg kick, a lot shorter to the ball.
Yeah.
So that's promising. He's hitting the ball to all fields. So, yeah, definitely very encouraging. Chasing a little less, too, I think. So, yeah, just keep trending in that direction, and I think it'll be a special year.
Absolutely. I've loved what I've seen from Elly thus far. Always good, when your superstar takes another jump from his sophomore year to his junior year, per se. But now let's talk about the rest of the game here. So the Reds win 14-3. Pretty substantial win. It's always nice to have a blowout, I think. And the Rangers kind of scored their runs in the baseball equivalent of garbage time. The Reds were up 11-0. Not 11-0. They were up 14-0. And when the Rangers kind of scored their 3 token runs. First off, before we get to the Reds, and we'll cover the Rangers a little more, but anything you want to start with from the Rangers' perspective, if we have any Rangers fans watching here?
I mean, I don't. It's one start, but Rocker didn't look very good at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's a combination of getting hit around early, which I'm sure rattled him, and then eventually just not really throwing strikes that much. And then when he did, they were hit pretty well. So I'm not concerned. Obviously, it's one start. Yeah, I don't know. I think the cold weather also plays a factor. Like those guys are coming from Arlington.
Yeah.
Coming into 40-degree weather, adjusting isn't really the easiest thing in the world to do. So I wouldn't be panicked or scared or anything like that. Obviously, 14 runs is a ton, but if I were a Rangers fan, it's game number 5 or whatever. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't freak out.
Yeah, moral of the story, I wouldn't feel scared either. Spin zone. Is it a little concerning that Semien, Seager, Jock Peterson, Jake Berger are all struggling right now through the first 5 games?
I mean, talk about tonight. Like, we have to give credit to Brady Singer. Like, he was
Right.
Yeah. Like, he was hitting spots all night, mixing and matching.
Yeah.
So credit to Brady, but I think Semien maybe a little bit because he's always been that kind of like steady, you know what you're going to get from him type of player. Berger, I wouldn't say so. Like Berger, he's more of a second half player, and he strikes out a lot regardless. And then Jock, like I said, like 1, finding his footing with the new team, and 2, coming to hit in 40 degrees. Like I remember playing baseball, and I never look forward to those cold games. So
Right.
Yeah, I would. It's such a small sample size. Like all 3 of them could hit 3 home runs tomorrow, and I wouldn't bat.
Totally.
So
I agree. You shouldn't panic if you're a Rangers fan at all. But I will acknowledge that it does kind of suck to see Kumar Rocker in his first start of the year get, no pun intended, rocked.
Yeah.
Like, I know it was 40 degrees, but the way the ball was jumping, when the Reds guys were hitting the ball is just, I'm not going to lie, it would suck a little bit. And then Semien and Seager just haven't gotten off to great starts even before this game. But still 3-2. You'll still have a good season, so I'm no worries bigly wise. But is it also concerning? We haven't talked about this at all, but Evan Carter started in AAA. I think you said. Yodi Taveras, your Reds target, is in the majors. Is that concerning at all that Evan Carter is starting in AAA?
I think it's more concerning from a health perspective. I think he had a shoulder injury that kind of like kept nagging with him. I don't know if he was ever like declared healthy or not, but I know that was like his bug last year. So I don't know. Like shoulder injuries are really tough to come back from just because they're such a key part of swinging. Obviously, knock on wood, McLean has looked like he hasn't really missed a beat, but like guys like Logan O'Hoppe had shoulder injuries and they came back, and it took a while for him to find his footing again. So I think the biggest thing for Carter is just finding his health, because like we all know what he can do. Like he didn't tear up the postseason 2 years ago for nothing. So
agreed. Now moving on to the Reds, right? The Reds get 7 innings of 1 hit, 8 strikeout baseball, 2 walks from Brady Singer, our offseason acquisition. Is Brady Singer the greatest Reds pitcher of all time? Is my first question. But no, seriously, what did you like today? Because you're our pitching expert. What did you like seeing from Brady Singer?
Yeah, well, I want to say, like, first, don't expect that every outing. I know, like, there's some fans in the Reds community who can get a little bit, like, delusional. To keep it lightly. But, yeah, he just did a great job of mixing pitches, whether it be sinker, slider, cutter. That's, like, his newer pitch this year. I know he's been messing around with that. I think it's mainly just to miss barrels. And be a little bit less susceptible to the long ball. But yeah, like I couldn't watch the first 5 innings on TV, but I was following on reel, and like some of the pitches like consecutively, like he'd throw a sinker dotted outside, and then he'd throw a slider like that would be a little bit more outside, but he'd get a swing and miss because the tunnel of the pitch was the exact same. I don't know. You kind of have to do that when your stuff isn't like phenomenal and you're not throwing super hard. So I don't know. Like, obviously the results were great tonight, but as someone who's a pitcher like him, if he's missing his spots by 2 or 3 inches and he's missing 2 or 3 inches towards the plate, like ground outs could turn into singles and singles could turn into doubles and things like that. So that's what I mean by like keep your expectations realistic. There'll be some games where he gets hit around, and there'll be some games like tonight where he just shoves. So I think anything in like a mid-4s ERA from Singer, I would be very happy with it at the end of the year.
I agree. So one thing that I really like is how he mixed up his pitches. The sinker, 4-seam, slider. He even threw a cutter and a sweeper a few times in the game. The velocity was a little better than I thought. I'm not sure what I expected, but his fastball was, I think his fastest pitch was 93.8, so 94. But I enjoyed watching Singer. I enjoyed how he kept his pitch count low, and it allowed him to pitch, go 7 innings. Like that's one thing that sometimes gets me about Hunter watching him pitch is like how you look up, it's the 4th inning and he's already got like 85 pitches.
Yeah. I think the thing that's so different about Hunter though is he actually talked about this with Jim Day on Jim Day's podcast, but his stuff is like so loud to where guys are like fouling pitches off or swinging and missing, and that's just getting deeper into count. So I think that's naturally going to happen where him and Lodolo have the like more swing and miss loud stuff versus like Martinez and Singer and even Carson Spires. Like they're just mixing and matching, and getting weak contact is more of their game versus like whiff. So I think that's just kind of naturally how that plays out.
Definitely agree. But yeah, Singer, whenever you can do it against a caliber of team like the Rangers, that's always very good. Excited to see it. But now let's talk about the offense real quick. Not going to do too much about the bullpen because Sam Moll and Brett Suter came in. They weren't perfect, but they didn't blow a 14-run lead. So I guess that's all you can ask for. Unless you wanted to comment, then go ahead. But I'm going to go with the lineup now. We'll kind of go quickly through this. We already went through McLean and De La Cruz, but TJ Friedl at the top of the lineup, 2 for 4, 2 runs. And then, let's just start with Friedl because he kind of started off the game really solid. What have you liked seeing from him this year as he enters, I think it's his age 29 season? Yeah, age 29 season.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really get off to the greatest starts, I guess. But tonight was definitely a step in the right direction. I mean, all he's really got to do is worry about getting on base, and you got 2 thumpers behind him. So, yeah, that's really only his job as a hitter. I would say tonight was definitely a step in the right direction for sure.
I definitely agree. Friedel's a guy who, if the Reds want to make a push for the playoffs, he's going to have to contribute because, like it or not, he's going to be our center fielder unless he gets injured for the entire year. I don't really see anybody, grabbing his spot per se. I'm not sure if you feel the same way, but he's kind of just going to be there, and it's nice if he plays well. Another guy who kind of a new guy, Gavin Lux. I enjoyed watching him play. 1-for-3 with an RBI. Spencer Steer did go 1-for-5, but he had a single, drove in his first 2 RBIs of the year. So good to see him get a hit. Jake Fraley also got his first hit of the season. And Jose Trevino got 2 hits and scored 2 runs. What did you like from kind of this Reds offense tonight, excluding the 10 runs that McLean and De La Cruz drove in?
Yeah, I quote me if I'm wrong on this, but I think coming into this game, like spots 7, 8, and 9 in the lineup were like over the entire season.
Yeah.
So that's positive.
That is positive.
I think the biggest concern coming into the game was Spencer Steer. He just didn't look like himself. I know his bat speeds were down from what they were last year. But apparently tonight they were back to what they should be. So hopefully that's a sign of his shoulder getting healthy, or at least his body signaling to him that he can still swing hard and his shoulder's not going to get hurt.
Yeah.
So that's a positive. I guess the other big takeaway is CES got hurt or got hit by pitch on the wrist. And then his x-rays and stuff were negative. So
that's good.
That should be a good sign. Crossing my fingers, because last year
we all
was
know
fine and then he wasn't fine. But yeah, I think that was a positive because he's been hitting the ball really well. And then just other guys like Fraley and Trevino getting on the board. So nice little game for everyone to kind of contribute and let loose a little bit.
I agree. Second and last spin zone of the video, though. I feel as if this game just kind of was just Elly and Matt doing Elly and Matt things. I'm not sure. I know it's a team effort, but I know Brady, contributed a lot to it. But
if Elly and Matt is 10 runs every game, then sign me up for Elly and Matt things. So
yeah, that might be one of the most dominant duos. And obviously, we want the rest of the lineup to contribute, but I feel as if we had to summarize this offensive performance for the Reds, it's just Elly De La Cruz doing Elly De La Cruz things. I'm looking at StatCast, exit velo, just Elly De La Cruz, Elly De La Cruz, Elly De La Cruz, Matt McLean, so I think that's kind of just my takeaway.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is for everyone else, just be who they are. Tyler Stevenson when he gets back, Austin Hayes when he gets back. If those two, Gavin Lux, Friedel, CES, Steer, Candy, if they're just who they've always been, this lineup's going to be really good because those are a bunch of very solid hitters. And when you put a bunch of solid hitters around 2 stars, well, 1 star and 1 superstar, I'd argue.
Yeah,
that's a really good lineup.
I agree. Any last words about this video or about this Reds performance tonight?
Just glad everyone stayed healthy.
I agree.
We'll never get a hit off a position player, that's for sure.
For sure. That's the one way to beat the Reds is to just throw out position players.
I do hope we get to keep facing them, though, because that means we're winning by a bunch. So.
Yes, I agree. One kind of last thing, and I will ask you about Mark Church. I know he just came in late in the game, but he looked like he was having a good performance tonight. So shout out to Mark Church. He's all the top pitch velocities in this game.
I honestly have no idea who he is. So.
Yeah, only 24 years old. He just turned 24 yesterday, so happy birthday to Mark Church. But who knows? Maybe that can be a guy in the Rangers bullpen going down the line. Maybe not also. But just on